welcome back to the Rod Shop channel here at Saxy Rod Shop. So today we're just going to give you a little update on some of the projects going on in the shop. We're going to start here with the 32 coupe. Customers decided he's going to let us build the fuel cell, and this will allow, or the fuel tank, and this will allow us to put the stuff in the trunk the way that we want it and to fit around what we have going on and what we have intended. So Brandon has, as you can see, bent the tank up. He's got the provisions welded in for the fuel pump and the fuel sender, and he's currently working on the mounts of the tank. And just to give you a little idea of what he's got going on here, he's made a cardboard template. He'll have a right and a left. And this is a top plate that you see here. This will be for the other side. And this is going to go on the other side of the tank, coming back. These will be bent like so. And then this will weld to the top of the tank like it did here. And that'll give him some double thickness of the metal here for the mount. And this will actually set in the floor. We'll come back here. So that tank's going to set down in this cavity in here. And then we're going to have a false floor, a frame on top of that with a false floor, giving us the depth that we need for the fuel pump and the sending unit. But those tabs will come in to... he's going to have some components welded to the inside of the tubs with some blind holes, threaded holes, and that tank will come and set down in here and then bolt into those tabs that will be welded on. And the reason we're going to do it that way is so that the inner fenders stay smooth and clean looking. So then, like I said, it'll have a steel frame up on top of it here for a false floor. So that's kind of where we are. Here's this frame right here. Now, as you can see, he had to make this in two pieces to be able to get it in and out of the car. So one piece will slide inside the other and be held in like that. And this will also be a bolt-in piece. And we're having to do that to make it serviceable and also just to get it in and out of the car. And here we are on the little Dakota pickup. And as you can see, we've actually got the motor back in it. We scooted the motor back over to the driver's side as far as we can go and still have everything that we've done serviceable. Now we do have, as you can see here, we have the Hydro Boost brake system in. This is from Hydrotech. We got to give them a plug where we can. We use a lot of this Hydrotech stuff. And then we also, so the old fuel lines that came up here were just some generic cheap braided hose that was hose clamped to some of the original steel tubing. We've done away with all that. And then when we pulled the tank out of the truck, the fuel pump was just literally setting in the hole. There was no clamp or anything holding that to the tank. So we did some research, and of course nothing was available pre-made for this truck, so we found some stuff and was able to adapt it to hold the tank, or the pump to the tank. So all that's been done. We've got the hoses made here, as you can see, for that. Fuel filter with the regulator built in it. We have that done. Hard lines here for the brake system. This has already been pre-bled. We're waiting on a battery. Power steering reservoir is over here. So that's kind of where we are on this truck. We'll be getting this thing started here again, and then we'll start test driving it now that we got some brakes, and see what we got left to go on our list. Okay, and then here with the 54 F100, as you can see, we have the paint repair done on the front, and we also have it on the rear. Then we also have We have the new steering column done, the I Did It steering column, and the Ventique steering wheel. We're working on doing a custom center cap here with horn button. A customer asked if we could get a logo put in there, but you can see that we have the headliner, the seats in it, got the passenger door in place. This is going to look pretty nice. Let me see here if I can pull this out. You can see the center console now. Got that in place where the radio is accessible but will still be hidden when wanted. And then the customer has added, he brought us a new wood kit for the bed. We have pre-fit this. We subbed the staining out to a local friend of ours. As you can see what he did on the red truck, the C10 that we just finished up. So we'll have him do this, get it stained, and then it'll come back, we'll put that in. And the only other thing is we're going to replace the rear leaf springs with some fresh ones. These have lost some of their arch, and they've had some leaves taken out over the years. So this truck has settled, and you can see it sits pretty low right here. It just doesn't have, the customer wants it raised up a little bit. So we're going to raise it up about an inch, a little over an inch, to give him a little more axle clearance. So that's kind of where we are on the F100. We're getting real close on this one. It's coming down to just the little detail stuff on a few small things, and get the bedwood done. And this one will be going home here soon. Here you see a little 49 Cadillac 62 series, a little sport coupe type car. I say coupe, sedan, two-door sedan. So anyway, we get a phone call, just a random call a couple weeks ago. Customer has this car out in California, and it's being refused at the shipping container area. This car is actually going to Hawaii, and the container company was refusing it because of a few items. It was hard to start, fuel gauge wasn't working, horn wasn't working, parking brake wasn't working, just some small stuff. So we get this call. Customer's asking us from Hawaii if we can work on this car and get it taken care of. So that's what it was here for. It also had a broke glass. So we put a new glass in it. It had a battery drain. Battery was always dead. The ignition switch the original ignition switch was just wired up wrong. So we got that done. The hood release wasn't working. We got all that cable working and done. So that's taken care of. The fuel gauge is working. Again, it wasn't wired correctly. Once we got that wired correctly, it worked. It was showing a full tank of gas when there was virtually less than a gallon in the tank. So we're going to drive this car just to verify that everything that we've worked on is going to stay consistent. We'll wash it and clean it, and then this one will be going to Hawaii. So here on the little split window Corvette, we've been working on it pretty good, consistently. Some of the things we got coming up is we're redoing some of the throttle cable system on it because of our inner engine compartment panels. We're wanting to bring the cables up and under those, behind those panels. So what was on the car is not going to be long enough. So we have just received our low car items, 36-inch length throttle cable, and the new cruise control cable. And these are also some that we can cut to length. We'll be tying those into the existing system up to the throttle bodies. And then around here, as you can see, it looks like he's got a mess, but he's working on. So this car has a wiring system in it called Infinity Box, and we're not real familiar with it, but we're getting used to it and getting familiar with it. It's a pretty neat system, but everything on this car was controlled by a touchscreen on the radio, which the customer was okay with, but he wasn't comfortable with it 100%. So in talking to Infinity and the help of their tech service, which is amazing, we're able to find out that we can also put some some backup switches. So if the radio was to ever go dead or to quit working, the customer will still be able to start the car, roll the windows up and down, turn the headlights on, and also operate the windshield wipers. And those are the things that the most critical things that we need to do. The functions of this system are way above and beyond all that. So we get that. Daniel's here. He has the switches located, and then he's currently locating in the system, in the wiring harness, which wires need to go to what to control right window up and down, left window up and down, wipers and that stuff. So that's kind of where we are on the Corvette. We also did get some. This thing had been changed over to where they converted the front system to a fog light, and we've taken that out and gone back. I guess we've got them removed, but gone back to turn signals, LED turn signals. We have those in here that go in there now. So that's kind of where we are on that car. And then we have Tommy in the background making noise, thinking he's being funny. So here you can see we had the trunk cover on the 55. We had it made. It was sitting over here on the side the other day. We actually now have it installed. It fits pretty nice. We did have to use a couple of little screws just to help hold the tension. The clips weren't going to hold quite as well as I wanted them to. Now the only thing we still have to do is we're going to make some covers that'll stick over these magnetically on both sides. We still got to do those, get those covered, and then start doing the final assembly and testing of all the stereo stuff up front. That's where we are on the 55 this week. So we're just going to catch you up to speed at the moment here on the 32. As you saw earlier, Brandon was fabricating the fuel tank. Well, he's now got it mocked up, welded up I should say, and got it all mounted in here. He's got some tabs that welded to the floor down here, so these bolts here will actually go into some threaded bungs that are permanently part of the car. And then he's working now on the false floor, and this will give us the height difference that we need to cover our fuel pump lines and sending unit. And then we'll have a solid floor in here. There's going to be a door up here, or a front panel, and then the interior panels will come in here on the side. In this rear section, we're actually going to make that where it lifts up so you can get into this lower area. We're going to try to utilize as much space as we can on this 32 because these cars are so small. But that's currently where we are on the 32. The tank is fabbed. We do still have to put a filler neck in it. It's going to come from this area here over and come out right back in this area somewhere, and you'll fill it through this side panel. We got that done right now, so that's where we are on the 32. Yeah, I've seen in the videos, many of our videos, the 63 split window here. This is a project that we inherited, and we've been working on it off and on, but now for a while. But now we're trying to get it finished. So, as I said, we inherited this project. We were told that it had ran before. So, as you can see, we just got it fired up for the first time since the car's been here. So we're comfortable with that working. And we didn't have any fuel leaks or any of those items. All the electronics seem to work. So now, one of the things that we're going to be doing is disassembly so that we can get into the engine compartment and fix all the welding that was done on the chassis and clean all that up. So that's kind of where we are on the split window. And that's everything we got going on around the shop this week. So again, I want to thank y'all for supporting our channel. If you haven't, if this is your first time visiting our channel, it's called the Rod Shop channel with Saxy Rod Shop. And hit the like button and the subscribe and the notification bell, and you'll start seeing all of our future videos from now on. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for your support.